Ciao my lovelies, it's me the D, and today we're going to be going through our April wrap-up. So I want to start by saying I didn't read that much. Honestly, every month, the more we get into the year, the more I'm like, damn, I should be doing better than this. And then every month it's like, oh, some bullshit happened, and then I just don't end up reading that much. But I did read a few books, not a lot, not my best, not even a lot of graphic novels or anything, but honestly, I'm going to stop promising the future. That's what I'm going to stop doing. So we're going to go through the things we didn't finish, and then we're going to talk about the things that we did finish. So let's see. I don't want to, forget anything, so I'm going to grab my handy dandy phone real quick and just go through the screenshots of the books I read. Most likely I'll forget one as well, but say that, Abby. Oh, right, what I didn't finish. Which ring shout? How do you say that name? Hold on. I'm trying so hard to figure out how to say this person's name. I'm struggling. So I'm reading Ring Shout by Djèlí Clark, and I'm enjoying it. I feel like it's a short novel. Honestly, I'm reading it on my phone. I didn't make a TBR for the month, and this book wasn't really on my radar until after some events. So I started the month with playing this game called South of Midnight, which is a historical, fantastical game, and it's really cool. I'm enjoying that so much. But I started with that, then me and my husband, we saw Sinners. Absolutely loved that. And that's black vampires, horror, black vampires. Awesome as ever. And then I saw on a TikTok, I have no idea if I could record it or anything, but I saw on a TikTok books that are the vibes of Sinners, and I was like, let me look at it. And I saw Ring Shout. I'd seen that book before on other people's media and stuff, so I never actually looked into it too strongly. But the main thing about it is that it's about these three girls who are fighting against Ku Kluxes, and instead of it being just plain Klansmen, because there is the KKK, they also have the KKK plus Ku Kluxes, which are actually zombie demons that they actually have to fight and kill. And so the main premise of the book is that these Ku Kluxes, these zombie things, are getting out of hand. They're kind of about to have a resurgence. It's all based on this movie that really inspired a bunch of Klansmen to come up, and the Ku Kluxes come from the hatred, the pure hatred that the Klansmen have, and then they turn into actual demon things. And so the book is them fighting the Ku Kluxes, fighting against the clans, and then they're also trying to figure out how to stop this new rising of even more Klansmen. Klansmen were evolving into scarier demons than what they were normally used to. And the point I'm in the book, I think I literally hit 40%, and it's a pretty short thing, so I could finish it probably in a night or two, but I just didn't get to it. My days got busy, but yeah, I'm gonna finish that next month. That's the only book I did start and did finish. So, Ring Shout, very much into it. Everything I watched related to Black media this month was excellent. It's all been very historical, but makes it in a way that's digestible. Digestible in the way of meaning it's spoon feeding you what they're talking about. You don't have to make inferences. You can know a little bit, and you're always going to come away with more information about what things were like back then and what they're making fantastical points out of versus general knowledge. Sinners inspired me to read Ring Shout, and I'm almost done with that, but that's the only book I did not finish this month. So the first book I finished this month was Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone, and I enjoyed it. I don't know if I could say that it was my favorite. I liked it more at the point I was talking about in the last book, where it was relevant to some points that have happened to me and my friend, and the passing of them. And then the book was really interesting in the way of showing this list. I feel like I didn't even describe it. I'm not even going to worry about her name or nothing. I'm just going to say the girl and the guy. So the main character, the main girl of the book, is going through a rough go of it. Her best friend had passed away from cancer, and so she is having a really rough time. I think her friend passed away almost a year ago or something close to that. And she is a babysitter by trade. That's her work. The main character gets hired for a new babysitting job after the tragedy. This is her first job back into work. And the little girl loves her, but there's a guy there and she doesn't know, but it's the little girl's family, but he's really like put off by her. And so she is just like, she looks disheveled and really like not well. And he was sitting there talking about like, she looks like she's messed up. And, you know, he ends up finding this book that's talking about how to get through grief. So he offers to help her through her grieving process and, you know, just be there for her when she needs him. So the book is her going through this list that her and her best friend made for her to get her life back. And he's going through helping her with that plan. It was so cute. Like, they got a tattoo, like they went camping, she made a new friend. And again, there was a lot of realistic depression, going through stuff, moments of the book. But the thing that really was kind of not making me love it is after the love interest and her got together, the energy changed. It's not even in a way of, this is a love story now. It was more of a, why are you doing what you're doing? Like for him, they finally are talking, like she gets really weird because she's like, oh gosh, I like this guy. And he has been known he likes her. So she, she just realized her feelings for him, and he apparently had those feelings not even the whole time. We don't know when the guy started getting feelings for her, and she just realized she had feelings for him. So it was one of those things where it's like they didn't want to talk about their feelings, either of them. Like she wanted to talk about it, he wanted to not talk about it so that like she could figure out herself first. Why not tell her that though? That was me. I'm like, tell her, you know. And like again, they're going through this list, and like the main thing is he wants her to be better before they get together, but he didn't say that. He didn't say that. He just was like, you'll know when things are happening between us. Like, no. And she's one of those people who like needs to know. So I was just like, communicate, just communicate. She's trying. She's really bad at it, by the way. And then he's just being like, eh. And I thought that was kind of annoying, to be honest. But I enjoyed the familial aspect between the little girl and her family, the things that were happening there. That's a rough go of it for him and for her. They're both going through very complicated situations. But I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed all the friends. I enjoyed the love interest. I was just irritated by the point where they finally got together and they just kind of didn't elaborate well. And then the ending, I'm a stickler for endings, and the ending was also fine. I didn't want an epilogue. I didn't want anything like that, but I thought it would have been nice to kind of, it didn't finish in a bow tie way. It kind of finished like any normal day for a couple, I guess, which I guess, but it wasn't very clear. It literally was just kind of like, and yeah, and I don't know. So the book for me, it was a 4. I'm pretty sure it was just a straight 4 for me. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I wouldn't buy it though. It has no rereadability to me. And again, I enjoyed it so much, but now I have this little nagging irritation in the back of my mind about it. So how much can I really like it? But yeah, that was our first book. And then I ended up reading Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I love Abby Jimenez. I mean, not even in a mean way, but like who doesn't really like Abby Jimenez's stuff? So Say You'll Remember Me is about a character from a previous book. I think it was Just for the Summer, which I like Just for the Summer. In Just for the Summer, there's like a caveat. Is that the right word? We're going to stick with it. There was a caveat about a character whose mom got lost, and the main character of that book ended up helping them. So this book is based on that. Okay, so this book is about the girl from the previous book. Okay. And there is the main character, Guy, is a veterinarian. She finds a cat with like no butthole. Weird start, but the cat with no butthole needed a big surgery, and he's like, you're not gonna be able to do it. So she said, fuck you, I'm gonna do it. And he came back apologizing, you know, and they ended up dating. Now they started by dating, but their lives are kind of going in completely different places and everything. So her mom has Alzheimer's and she needs to move back home while he lives in, I think it's Michigan. I'm very bad with states. He lives in Michigan. She's moving to California. They have this amazing, amazing, amazing date. And then basically they're like, well, didn't know it was gonna rock this hard. So unfortunately I'm moving. And that's basically the book. It's like, how are they going to get together? It felt so important. It just felt like they were meant to be together. And it was one of those things where it's like, I could not comprehend how they were gonna keep together. Like, again, she's like, forget about me. And he's like, absolutely not. I've never felt this way before. And so they were just trying to figure it out the whole book. I enjoyed it. Is it my favorite one? No. But I'll say out of the 3 I've read, I'm pretty sure this is my second favorite. Again, I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the loyalty they showed for each other. And I enjoyed the familial aspect. I always enjoy a good familial aspect in a romance. He was such a big supporter of her and everything she was going through with her family, and never blinked an eye, never like made anything about himself. It was a very selfless main character. And then she was just a little bit nervous to commit, but she was very open about it. And again, her family and stuff was priority. If he could work with it, cool. If he couldn't, she was just gonna have to do what she needed to do. I enjoyed the book a lot though. The only thing that was kind of not the best to me was that, like, again, I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a 4.25 to me, but I don't know. Something about it irritated me. I enjoyed the whole book, even the ending. I enjoyed everything about it. It kept me intrigued. I read through in probably like 2 or 3 days, which is pretty good for someone who's busy as fuck. And I don't know why it didn't become a 5, but it was pretty good. I liked it. I liked the characters. I liked the setting. I liked the familial. I liked the ending, but it is not a 5-star. I'm kind of a stickler for a 5-star, so it did not hit that. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't reread it, but I would recommend it. So we enjoyed it. So the next book I read was The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monika Kim. I liked this way more than anything else this month. This book was weird. It was weird, but I liked it. Basically, this is about, I gotta learn these characters' names. Like, I'm terrible with names of people, so of course reading it doesn't make it better. Let's see. Let's go through this. Hold on. Ji-won. Okay, so our main character, Ji-won, is the eldest daughter to her mom. Our main character's name is Ji-won, and her mother is going through a divorce because her father had an extramarital affair. Okay, that's the starter. So yeah, her family is going through a very trying time. Her mom is very distraught about her father leaving, and I guess in their culture, eating fish eyes will hopefully bring you good luck. So her mom starts getting really like obsessed with eating the fish eyes for good luck and hoping her husband will come back to her, and trying to get the girls like her and her sister to eat the eyes to give their family good luck. And Ji-won finally eats it, and she's like, wow, this low-key is kind of good. So that's how it starts. And then her mom ends up actually starting to date after a little bit, and she ends up dating this white man. And this white man is an arrogant son of a... So he's giving off white savior. He almost fetishizes him. Like, nah, he does fetishize him. And so her mom is deeply into him, and just... He's a douche, to be honest. He's really rude, and he acts like he knows genuine, authentic Chinese dishes and things. And then he's also like creepy. Like, he's looking at the girls in a like gross way, and rude to servers, and just like the worst. Like, he low-key just injects himself into their life, and is the most annoying person I've ever read about, to be honest. And so Ji-won becomes obsessed with his eyes. His supersonic, clear blue eyes. She's like, wow, I want to eat those. And so you're just going through the situation of her obsessing over his eyes and wanting to eat them, and getting paranoid about him, and just all this weird stuff in their family life that's going on, and these complicated friendships that she's going through. Like, she's having a hard time of it, from the eyes to her dad to her friends. I could see my neighbor looking at me through the window. Go in your house. Yeah, I see you, girl. There you go. I don't care. I'm gonna keep going, but Girl, she hit the lean out the window shit. Anyway, she's having a lot of issues with her family, with her friends, with her sister, with this guy, with her mom, and just like she's going through it. She's kind of low-key going kind of insane. And you just are part of the adventure of her going from here to way down. Man, I'm not gonna stop. I wonder if I put it on her, will she see? Yes, that book was a 5-star. I would recommend it to kind of creepier girls. This isn't a book you recommend to someone who doesn't read at all, but if they read a little bit of weird stuff, if they like Bunny, they'll like that for sure. So I gave that a 5-star. I'm thinking about adding it to the collection if they come out with a cute edition. I don't like the picture right now with the blue cover. Also, the description of biting into an eye, wild. Wild. So I read that. The last book that I read this month was The Queen by Nick Cutter. I really liked it. I need to find different words for liking things, but The Queen by Nick Cutter, that was good. I think I would give that a 4. A regular old 4. Mainly because, I don't know, the gore was there. The descriptions were disgusting. I could visualize almost everything in the book. And I enjoyed the storyline of the friendship and how things change with life, but I don't know. It was a good book though. So the main character is Margaret, and her friend Charity has gone missing about a month and a half ago. And so she is really worried about her friend. She was really depressed. Nobody cares about Charity and how she disappeared. Charity's gone missing. And so these 3 boys, the golden boys of the town, the rich boys, and Charity's from the trailer park. So no one cares but Margaret, basically. Margaret and her have been best friends since forever. And Margaret is given a phone randomly one day, and it's supposedly from Charity. So she is supposed to be following the instructions of the phone to figure out what happened to Charity. And it's basically a story of how their friendship kind of developed and faded, and the prospect of the future for the girls as they were graduating high school, and how basically people turned into hornets. I think the last video I said they were bees. They're hornets. And so you're finding out these dark secrets. It reminded me of 13 Reasons Why. I'm pretty sure even in the acknowledgements and everything, he mentioned he was inspired by 13 Reasons Why. But it was good. You find out a lot of secrets and a lot of both sides of the stories between the girls and how their feelings were kind of similar, but not. It was really cool. The gore was in there again. I could feel it. I could see it. A lot of body horror, to be honest. But it did not hit perfectly. Again, I was able to put this book down from last month to this month. This month, I think it took me still like a week. And that's not great, but I was getting kind of tired sometimes of the like lyricalness of the writer's style. And sometimes we get a little bit too much detail. And by that, I just mean like, okay, let's get to the issue at hand. Sometimes I don't want to just hear you talk about the grass in the van. You know, like I could see a van. I don't need you to actually describe it to me. So there was just a little bit of lagging. A little bit of lagging in a book that takes place over 24 hours pretty much. But it was a pretty okay book. I think I would read from Nick Cutter again, but I don't think I would read something in general. It'd have to be a good premise for me to try and read it again. But yeah, it was a good one. It was a 4. I think I could recommend this to people who don't mind body horror. If you can't stand the description of sickness, no. But that was good. I'm glad I finished both the books I didn't finish last month. Sometimes, again, the first half of a book will really intrigue me, and then I'll lose interest by the second. But both of them finished off pretty strong for someone who, you know, I don't finish stuff sometimes. But yeah, those are all the books I read this month. It wasn't a lot, but they were generally pretty good. I think we can do better next month, but you'll have to wait and see. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.